Hi everyone, so today we are going to be making candy grapes. What you are going to do first is you are going to rinse your grapes and then dry them with a paper towel. Once you've done that, you'll get some toothpicks and you'll put it through the grape, but you don't want it to poke all the way through, just enough so it can support the grape once you are dipping it into the candy melt for the outside. So once you get all of these done, you can choose however many grapes you'd like to do. You'll stick them in the freezer and let them set while you are making the rest of it. So for the coating, I used Nerds. You can also use Jolly Ranchers, Pop Rocks, kind of anything that you would like to add to the outside. It doesn't matter too much because what you're going to do is you're going to crush them. So I used a rolling pin for this at first, and I kind of rolled over it and kind of hit them against the counter, and it didn't work amazing. So what I did is I actually ended up putting them into the blender. I found that this gave them like a really good texture and size for the outside of the grape. Then what you're going to do with that is just put them in a bowl and put that to the side for when your grapes are ready to be covered. So moving on to the candy coating that's going to be on the outside, and I will put the ingredients in the description below as well. But what you're going to start with is 2 cups of sugar, and you are going to go ahead and put that into the saucepan. You're also then going to add 2/3 cups of water, just right on top of that. And then you're also going to measure out 1/2 cup of light corn syrup. Then what you're going to do is you are going to put this on the stovetop, and you kind of want to have that on like a medium to high heat. You don't want it too low to where it doesn't reach the ideal temperature, but you also don't want it too high so that it burns. So if you have an oven top like me, I put it on like the 4 to 5 range. I gave it a stir, and then as it gets warmer, you're going to see it start to bubble as well. So it's going to start to work here. Give it a little stir. Once it does start getting bubbly and hotter, you are going to want to use a candy thermometer. The ideal temperature for this candy is going to be about 300 degrees. So here you can see it starting to bubble. It's getting pretty close to what it needs to be for the outside of the grapes. Now, right before you take it off of the stovetop, you can add some food coloring for the color you'd like. I added a little bit of pink because I also added in some flavor. So I use cotton candy. You can use any flavor that you'd like in these little oils. I'll put those in the description as well. You can do watermelon, strawberry, anything that you'd really like. So once your sugar melt gets to 300 degrees, you are going to turn that heat off, and then you have to work pretty fast dipping your grapes into it because it is going to harden. But you'll use that toothpick to dip your grapes into the heat. You'll dip it into the Nerds or whatever candy you use, and then they'll kind of just stick onto the grape there. So you'll swirl it around, dip it in there, and then you will let them sit for about 30 minutes, and so all the candy can harden. And then it's best to store it in the freezer again.